program sites. I've actually been with SIG for 12 years now. As I mentioned, at the end of our presentation, we will address questions that you have. Please feel free to type them into the questions feature at any time, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation.
Your participation today indicates that you are interested in your child's education and academic exploration, and so are we. Since 1984, SIG has focused on enabling and empowering gifted, talented, creative, and high-potential youth to celebrate and maximize their unique potential through our summer program.
Our goal is that students walk away from their SIG experience with a feeling of self-reassurance and confidence. Our program methodology can best be explained by our incorporation of academic, recreation, and social-emotional components. In other words, programming for the whole person. Every child has different interests, abilities, and learning styles. Some are outgoing, while others may need extra encouragement. Some are methodical in their thought processes, while some may be more creative, with big ideas in a variety of areas. We recognize and embrace every student individually. As we talk today, we will take you through the ways the SIG programs can benefit your students.
Simply put, our goal is for your student to have the most rewarding, academically challenging, and socially fulfilling summer possible. We want all students to explore their intellectual curiosities while in a safe, secure, and fun environment. SIG Innovators programs offer students aged 9 to 17 a unique opportunity to experience challenging multi-curricular courses paired with exciting social-emotional skill building with like-minded peers. The SIG experience extends far beyond the classroom.
Residential students can take advantage of everything SIG has to offer. Students participate in all 4 academic periods, recreation hours, evening activities, and both weekend activity days. Our residential students have all 3 meals as a group and reside in a college dorm for the duration of the program. As a residential student, your child will experience a true college life by experiencing life in a dorm with other students and managing their personal space, learning to do their own laundry, and even making those healthy choices in the dining hall. Your child will gain critical life skills such as time management, independence, and self-reliance.
SIG is first and foremost an academic program with curriculum and instruction methodology specifically designed to meet the unique needs of high-ability learners. However, the summer in our name isn't only reflective of the time period we operate our programs. It is also indicative of our realization that summer is a time for fun. Outside the classroom hours, students enjoy a plethora of recreational and social activities on campus. Every weekday afternoon, students choose from a variety of options to select for rec hour. Some of the choices offered are themed clubs, various sports activities, arts and crafts, and dorm time, during which students have a chance to relax and socialize with their newfound friends. Evenings and weekends are also filled with activities for students to engage socially and recreationally. After all, it is summer.
Now, Samantha and I are going to take you through the daily life of a SIG student. But before we do that, we'd like to address your expectations. Our anticipation is that virtually every one of you has similar expectations from the SIG program, as well as very specific questions about your child's well-being. We do not take lightly the fact that you are entrusting your child to us for 3 weeks. Our goal here is to assure you that your child will be safe and well cared for.
Safety and security. Is this your most critical concern? Because it is ours. We have created a model in which students live in the dorms divided by counselor groups of 10 to 20 students. These groups are assigned by age and gender. Counselors escort students to meals, classes, and events in graduated levels. Simply put, students in the age group of 9 to 12 are always escorted, whether they are in the dorm, at meals, in class, or walking around campus. These counselor group sizes normally range from 10 to 12 students. Our 13 to 14-year-olds graduate to a bit more freedom as of the fourth academic day. They live in groups of 12 to 16 students and may walk to classes, meals, and events in buddy groups of 3 or more. Why after the fourth academic day, you ask? 1, we want them to feel comfortable in their environment and schedule before we let them fly. 2, our goal is to set them up for success, and that means gaining confidence in being self-reliant and accountable. These students will still eat with their counselor groups throughout the session. We'll talk about meals a little bit later.
Now let's talk a little bit about our senior students ages 15 to 17 and their privileges. It is important for us to mention that for your child to participate in senior privileges, they must be age 15 by August 31st of this year. We recognize their need for independence and gaining the experience they will need shortly as they head off to college. They too will be able to travel around campus in groups of 3 or more, as well as have the choice whether to participate in rec hour activities. We've also devised some evening activities geared specifically towards this age group. It is important for us to note that no student is allowed outside of the designated campus boundaries or off campus without the supervision of SIG staff. They at times may feel this is too restrictive, but as much as we are helping them spread their wings, this is one area in which we are steadfast.
The well-being of your child is another aspect we take great care in ensuring. Whether it be their physical health or social-emotional growth, all SIG program staff take great pride in knowing each child and their particular needs. A nurse lives on campus and is available 24 hours a day. As a matter of fact, the nurse is the only person on campus who doesn't get a day off. Our nurses are there to assess every ache and pain, distribute medications, and are our true caregivers for everything from a head cold to homesickness.
SIG counselors are with their students throughout the day in classes, at meals, and participating in events with them. Many of them choose to work at SIG because they see education in their future and are excited about taking this journey with your children. They are trained in social emotional care and development, signs of distress, conflict management, and most importantly, how their personal engagements with their students has an impact on these students. Here's how a counselor expressed her feelings to me last summer. She said, "If you told me when I walked on campus 2.5 weeks ago I would be crying the last 3 days, I would have laughed my head off. But now I can't stop crying. I am going to miss my girls so much."
Of course, we recognize your expectations of your child's academic experience are pretty high too. Don't worry, we will get to that in just a few moments. But first, let's look at a typical academic day for a SIG residential student. Rise and Shine begins at 7 a.m. on most campuses, with the counselors knocking on the doors of the students. As everyone emerges from their rooms, there are the reminders to brush your teeth, lock your door, don't forget your backpack. Sound familiar? Then it is off to the dining hall for breakfast. This is a morning check-in to ensure everyone is ready for the day, as well as assessing whether everyone in their group At the end of the academic day, it's time to unwind with rec hour and a bit of dorm time, and then dinner. After dinner, students can work on out-of-class assignments and group projects. Then it is back to fun with a special evening activity planned for each night. Some evenings have some downtime built in for laundry and some relaxation. Over the years, SIG alumni have shared with us the most rewarding aspects of the program, from making new friends to learning quantum entanglement. A recurring theme that we hear is the leadership skills students hone through their participation in the program. SIG alumni learn independence, make lasting friendships, achieve academic enrichment, and much more. A defining component of SIG Innovators programs is the personal power built within each student. One of the things we strive to do at SIG is prepare students to be self-reliant and independent. These characteristics are critical for youth with high potential, as we want them to develop substantial self-efficacy in being able to direct their lives, work, research, goals, aspirations, and contributions to whatever fields they may choose.
To achieve this level of self-direction, unimpeded by the pressures they will encounter along the way in their everyday lives, they need to be aware of and develop their personal powers to a significant degree. SIG helps students face the enormous global challenges ahead, to be exceptional and creative problem solvers, and to achieve the greatness of which we know they are capable.
Our goal is that each SIG student leaves the program with a renewed sense of confidence and determination. SIG's multi-curricular course content enables students to establish individualized learning goals and directives catered toward their own interests. This freedom to explore topics that are dear to them increases a student's sense of self-efficacy and encourages students to speak up for what they are passionate about without fear of rejection. We begin that confidence building right away. With the guidance and encouragement of the counselor, the bonding process begins the moment students walk on campus. From being introduced to the other students in their group to icebreakers, activities that first evening, your child will recognize very quickly they are among like-minded peers who are as nervous and yet excited about this new journey.
SIG's evening activities further enhance confidence in students through opportunities for them to showcase their talents and be their true selves, surrounded by like-minded peers. These activities include the signature talent show, sing-off, brain bowl, and much more. The long-standing tradition of SIG Banner Night is a perfect example. We set the tone for students to acknowledge their personal powers and brainstorm with one another to combine these powers into a superhero figure, with the mission that students will devise this superhero for a better world. I must tell you that from personally witnessing these events, they are truly magical. SIG is the no-judgment community your children have been craving for to show their authentic selves and know their voices matter.
Participation in a SIG Innovators program gives students the opportunity to explore the limits of their own self-reliance and independence. SIG provides a safe and secure environment for students to develop their resilience and work through their initial hesitations to create lasting memories.
Novel experiences empower students to set large goals and envision themselves accomplishing more than they previously imagined. Some students may start off nervous and worried about making new friends, doing laundry, or finding their way to class on such a big campus. However, students meet their counselors and these concerns are quickly remedied. The counselors act as a mentor to students and help them push themselves to realize their independent selves. Some parents are surprised when their child comes home and starts doing laundry and making breakfast for the entire family.
In addition to forging new friendships and opportunities to follow their own pursuits, students learn one of the most important skills of all at SIG Innovator programs: perseverance. Some students face their first time being away from home for an extended period and have an extreme case of homesickness. This adversity gives students the opportunity to practice encouragement, optimism, and empathy for one another. A strong sense of perseverance encourages problem-solving skills and builds future leaders. We promised to get into our academic approach and what you can expect. So here we go. What better way to start than talking about creative problem solving? SIG's STEAM Plus curriculum takes a multidisciplinary approach to learning that engages students in creative thinking to help them solve real-world problems for their futures in STEAM fields such as science, technology, engineering, arts, humanities, mathematics, and fitness.
SIG Academics focuses on the tenets of problem-centered learning. Our academic courses allow students to think critically, creatively, and complexly. We want students to apply new knowledge to real problems and engage in learning, as professionals do in their fields of study. Our students leave our programs with a vision for how they can change their futures, incorporating the talents and passions they possess. At SIG, we nurture the thinking of fertile minds to help our students unleash their potential.
SIG provides a safe place for students to think and share their ideas and thoughts. We push students to think outside the box and come up with unique and innovative ways to solve problems and challenges around them. At SIG, we realize that not all students learn in the same way, and they are not all interested in the same material. SIG focuses on a differentiated learning approach, taking each student's unique academic experience and expertise into account. We encourage students to accept responsibility for the direction of their learning. Parents often ask, what's next? How can I keep the momentum and passion alive for my child? SIG student performance reviews assist with ideas for future direction through honest and detailed feedback for each class a student completes.
Upon the successful completion of the SIG Innovators program, parents receive a student performance review, or we use SPR. The SPR is a personalized assessment describing your child's academic performance in the program and details their accomplishments. One of the most valuable takeaways for students is the personal comments each instructor leaves, detailing how each student can further their passion and education in each content area. Suggestions such as joining a debate club at school or applying for an essay writing contest are examples of such notes that aid students on their quest for self-discovery. Students receive the feedback they need to help them navigate and narrow down the different fields they are drawn to.
I don't know about all of you, but I can't wait to be on campus this summer and experience the joy of being a SIG student through your children's eyes. We would like to open the conversation to your questions, but first, if you are interested in exploring additional information, please visit our website at giftedstudy.org or view one of our previous or upcoming webinars.
And if you're unable to click on these links on the screen right now, you will be able to click on them when we email you this presentation. We hope that you will share your questions
How does an Innovators program prepare you for college? That is definitely a question we get all the time. I would say SIG Innovators programs prepare students academically and emotionally for the full college experience. Most of the skills that we mentioned throughout the presentation are vital for success in college. Students learn on a much smaller scale how to problem solve through some of the most common issues they end up facing in college, such as, how to get along with a roommate after meeting them for the very first time, how to find a friend group at a brand new school, how to navigate a large dining hall in a university, who to turn to for support when you're away from home, or even how to combat homesickness, because even, when they do get older, they still have homesickness. Even some of the counselors end up getting a bit of homesickness. Students also prepare for college further through SIG's academic process. Our students, advocate for themselves in courses and choose their own academic path through individualized objectives and course schedules. Okay, so the next question is, are there parent-teacher conferences? We actually do not have parent-teacher conferences, but our staff is always available to speak with parents and let them know how the students are doing in the program. We have a SIG campus phone line that is available 24 hours. We do ask that if it's late at night, it's only for emergency. There's also an email for the director and the office staff, and that's shared with parents prior to the program so that parents can call or email to check in on their students. Upon request, instructors can also provide brief remarks about, whether a student is doing well in the class, whether they're engaged, and, that's something that we can definitely share. And then we do have a student performance review that is given at the end of the program that we also spoke a bit about, and that gives a full picture of exactly how the student did in the course, and that's given to all parents. When is the application deadline? The deadline for the SIG Innovators program is June 1st, but we do have many courses that fill up very fast. For instance, at Princeton, we have quite a few courses that are already full. So we do always recommend that you get your application in as soon as possible so you can make sure that you have the desired course schedule for your student. Do the boys and girls sleep in separate buildings? Most program locations have one dormitory for all the students, but the students are separated by gender and age. So for instance, maybe the 13 to 14-year-old group maybe in the left wing on the 4th floor, while the opposite gender is on the completely different side of the building and on a different floor. We definitely make sure that the genders and ages are kept apart to maintain the safety of all the students.
We have another question about the average grade level entering SIG. We have students coming from ages 9 to 17. If you're looking for the highest percentage of students, it would probably be between the ages of 12 and 14. That is our absolute highest percentage of students, but we get students from all those age groups in our programs. Another question is, what is the academic requirements for admissions? And I would say the best way to answer that without a very long answer is that you can visit our website, giftedstudy.org, or when you get this presentation, you can click on the SIG admissions process. We do have eligibility, and the long and short of an answer is there are several ways to provide eligibility, test scores, recommendation letters, etc. So please visit the website, and under how to apply, you will see eligibility.
How does your staff help students that are feeling homesick? Homesickness, as I mentioned, it is something that comes up every single year. We make sure that we train our staff ahead of time so that they know exactly how to handle a homesick student. So we have staff members have a variety of tools at their disposal, such as, maybe they might review some of the fun activities that are coming up, talk to students about what they love the most about home. I actually interviewed a counselor recently, and they said that they even maybe asked the student if there's a book or a specific bedtime routine that they use at home so that we can recreate that at the program. Helping a student call home, and of course, most importantly, is helping that student meet new friends and get engaged in the program. We often find that the most homesick students just haven't found their friend group yet. And it's that very first night, so they haven't had a chance to really bond. So we just like to get them engaged with other students so that they don't focus so much on feeling homesick.
Just to add on to what Samantha was just saying about routines, we do find that most of the homesickness is with the younger group of students. So with those groups, we definitely establish a routine. As you probably have a bedtime routine, we will create one as well. One of our counselors a couple years ago actually came up with an idea that she and her 9 and 10-year-old girls, they had a tea party every night where they talked about their day and what was the best thing that happened to them that day. And so they had chamomile tea and just sat in the lounge and talked and, and then went and brushed their teeth. And so they had a nice routine that would help them settle down. One thing that we do recommend is that parents don't talk to their students right before bed, because that can exacerbate the homesickness.
Okay, so unfortunately, that's all the time that we have today. For any questions that you may still have pertaining to your specific needs, please feel free to reach out either by phone or by email. You can also find more information on our website at giftedstudy.org, and don't forget to connect with us on social media.
We hope this webinar has provided you with a comprehensive overview of the SIG Innovators program for your prospective residential student. We would like to thank you all for your wonderful questions and for taking the time to join us today. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you, and bye-bye.